Good morning. Today we are correcting CO71, identifying our solids, knowing their faces, edges, and vertices. So just a quick review. There are 7 solids we went over. Our cube, our rectangular prism, our triangular prism, our cylinder, our sphere, our cone, and our pyramid. You need to be able to know that the faces are the flat sides. Okay, so you need to be able to count all those flat sides. Our rectangular prism and our cubes are the same. That cube is just, the dimensions are all the exact same size. Like a square is a rectangle. Everything is the same about it except they're identical sides. Triangular prism has the triangles, so it has less faces, less sides to it. You need to know that those edges are the straight lines. Vertices are our corners. Cylinder doesn't have any faces going around it because it's curved. The faces are only the top and bottom. Our sphere has no faces, no flat sides. And because it has no flat sides, it has no edges. And without any edges, we can't have any of those vertices. The cone has one face on the bottom, but then it's all wrapped around, no straight sides for the edges. The one edge, what looks like it might be an edge, is curved. So it's not that line segment. It's not a straight line, so it's not an edge. It does have that corner at the top. Pyramid has those straight sides going around it, and on the bottom, we've got our edges and our corners. So let's answer our riddle questions on the second page. I have 5 faces and 6 vertices, so that is a triangular prism. No faces, no edges, no vertices would be the sphere. Only 2 faces on the top and bottom is the cylinder. 6 faces, 12 edges of the same length. So that has to be the cube because they are the same length. I have only 1 vertex, that would be the cone. 6 faces, 12 edges, not all the same length would be the rectangular prism. Then you had to come up with a riddle for the one that was not talked about. The one not talked about was the pyramid. So you should have created your own riddle for the pyramid. The riddle I created, because the pyramid has 5 faces, 8 edges, and 5 vertices. I said I have 8 edges. What am I? Because that is the only shape that has those 8 edges. What were some riddles you guys came up with? Adeline.
I had 5 faces, 5 vertices.
Perfect. 5 faces, 5 vertices. Sophie. Perfect. 5 faces, 8 edges. Emma. Perfect. All right, so any of those would have worked, right? As long as the only answer would be the pyramid. Let's look at our review. As I was walking around, I noticed some of us had a little hard time with some of these reviews. So let's make sure we understand it because we're going to be seeing these again, friends. Test is next week. Find the perimeter and area of the figure. Perimeter is adding up all the sides. So you had to write in those side numbers for the ones that weren't shown. So it's 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5, which is 16. And the area would be length times width. 3 times 5 is 15. Then we have our parallelogram. Find the area. Remember, it's the base times the height. So 10 times 6 is 60. For our triangle, it's the base times the height. And we want a half of it, so divide it by 2. So 9 times 4 is 36, divided by 2 is 18. Our circumference for the circle would be 2 times pi times r, which is 113.10, or 113.04, depending if you use the pi button or you use 3.14. The area is pi r squared. They are giving us that r, so we know it's 18 squared times pi, which is 1017.88, or 1017.36, depending on which way you answered it. On the bottom, draw and label vertical angles. So you needed your x. We need to know that opposite angles on that vertex are going to be congruent. I showed they were congruent by the one line for these two that are congruent and the two arcs here for these two that are congruent. If you put angle measurements in to show that they are congruent, remember this is a straight line, so if we add the two different angles up together, it must equal 180 degrees. Now it says draw and label supplementary angles. Supplementary are when they make that straight line of 180 degrees. So I did 120 and 60. You just need two angles that you add together to equal 180 degrees. This last one is the one that I saw people forgetting how many sides a hexagon has. Who can tell me how many sides a hexagon has? Liam?
6.
6. So you need to remember those numbers. Okay, remember the words for the different numbers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, and it is concave. There needs to be a cave-in somewhere on your shape. So if you count your sides right now, and there are not 6 of them, I saw some people doing 5 sides, some people doing many, many more sides. It's going to be wrong. Okay, we will see these things again in our Math 6 reviews. Any questions on today's math? We are not putting our binders away, friends. We are going to be making our review sheet for next week. Okay, this was our last objective for this week. We're going to review, so we are ready for the test next week. So, if you are watching at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Keep in mind, we are testing on this unit next week.